Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschata Dishatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, Krishna arrived in Mathura and he broke the bow. That created quite a stir in the whole city of Mathura. And when Krishna creates such a stir, what happens? The demons become worried and devotees become delighted. So that is one aspect of Krishna's, one important aspect of Krishna's pastimes. It polarizes actually. The demons become extremely inimical and their attitude is how to get rid of Krishna. So this polarization, right? Paritrana sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Just this is a unique aspect. Just Krishna appears and this polarization takes place. The demons become extremely upset because the devotees recognize Krishna and they start to glorify Krishna. And when they glorify Krishna in this way, then they become envious. And some forecast is also there, like in case of Kamsa, it happened, like there was a forecast. And this was not just an ordinary person saying, the celestial voice saying, declaring or forecasting the inevitable. This will happen. And since then, Kamsa's endeavor was to always try to undo that. Inevitable is there, so that's again another consideration of a devotee and a demon. A devotee accepts whatever is inevitable. But a demon wants to counter that. The devotee's attitude is, Madhavi rakho vi jo ichha tohara. Whatever you want, you just do it. But the demon, if there is, as we say in case of Kamsa, when he was told that Krishna will kill him, then his reaction is, okay, I'll kill Krishna. So we notice that when we accept the inevitable, then we become peaceful. And when we try to counter the inevitable, then it causes anxiety and distress. Like a general consideration, or just a very common consideration in that respect is that nowadays we see that people don't want to become old. They're making all kinds of arrangement not to get old. What to speak of not to die? Death is inevitable. Okay, fine. The life is a process of avoiding death. Let's put it that way. Death is there and the life is trying to counteract that inevitable. That's understandable. But the thing is, by nature's arrangement, the body goes through certain aspects. Not only human being, every body, every living body goes through these inevitable aspects. Childhood, youth, old age. So, youth, the child will grow to develop into a youth. And then gradually the body will begin to wither and body will become old. So when the body becomes old, this is a reminder by nature. Okay, now you prepare for death. But their attitude is no, we don't want to become old. Once a doctor disciple of mine told me that now his observation is that when they're young, they're using their youth to earn money. And when they become old, they spend the money to get their youth back. It's a very nice observation actually. They using their youth to earn money. And then when they get old, they want to use that money to get their youth back. Why? When you are young, be young. And when you grow old gracefully. Accept it. In that respect, I give an example. So life means the soul's connection with the body, isn't it? The soul is connected to the body. That is life. Soul and body together. At the time of birth, what happens? Does the soul have a proper connection to the body? Just a very faint connection to the body. So if we consider this is the soul and this is the body, at the time of birth it's like this. Then as we grow, it begins to grow like this. And at the prime of youth, it's like this. The body and soul in perfect harmony. Right? And then body starts to wither. Body tries to grow old. Gradually. From youth, gradually it starts to get. That means the soul's connection to the body begins to reduce. And then the time comes when the connection between the body and soul is very faint, very feeble. And then the soul leaves the body. So it is actually nature's arrangement to free us from the bondage of the body. But due to lack of information, lack of education, because they do not have any understanding about the soul, about the nature of the soul, about the destiny or destination of the soul. They want to keep the soul in the body as long as possible. And so we can see the more materialistic the culture is, the more is the desire to keep the body, keep the same body as long as possible, alive as long as possible. Somebody was telling me the other day that some very rich man gave something huge amount of money, something like $3,000 million or something, a huge amount of money to do research to make the body eternal, make the body not die. And the condition is they will freeze his body, and when the scientists will find out the way to bring to make the dead body alive, then they will make his body alive. What a crazy idea. So they want to keep the body alive. So that's the difference between materialistic culture and spiritual culture. See, Vedic culture, what's the Vedic culture? After the body dies, get rid of the body immediately. Burn it as soon as possible. And we can see the more materialistic it is, the more the tendency is to preserve the body. The Vedic culture, burn the body. The Muslim and Christian culture, bury the body. Right? And then you consider the Egyptian culture, mummify the body. The dead body for thousands of years is just mummified. What's the point? They don't get mummified, they get ghostified. They become ghost. You keep the body like that, the soul cannot, the subtle body cannot leave the body. So they remain attached to the body. They don't get another body. Anyway, so this is the basic understanding that we have to consider. Real cultures, real wise culture is to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead and submit to Him. Whatever He wants, let it be. And the materialistic culture is not to accept Krishna, but try to lord over. Do things the way I want. But the devotee is saying, let it happen, let it be the way Krishna wants. That is the meaning of surrender. Let it be the way Krishna wants. Anyway, so in the morning, Krishna, Balaram and the cowherd boys, they heard the sound of the kettle drum announcing the festival. So they got up, got ready to go. Quite excited. They came to the city like little boys when they come to some exciting scene, they want to become a part of it. So excitedly, Krishna with the friends, with Balaram, they came to they wanted to go to the place of festivity, Kamsa's palace. But as they came to the main gate, they saw a huge elephant called Kubalaya Pira. Terrible elephant, actually these war elephants are already terrible, but Kubalaya Pira's situation the one elephant was as powerful as 10,000 wild war elephants. So powerful. That also reminds us of Kamsa's power. Kamsa was extremely powerful. You know how Kubalaya Pira how Kubalaya Pira became subservient to Kamsa. Kamsa was just, at that time, was a young boy, meaning in his early youth. And at that time only he was fighting with the wrestlers and he was defeating all those wrestlers. So one day he was wrestling in Mathura. And Jarasandha, in order to conquer the world, he posted his tent with his army at different places. And he was there on the bank of Jamuna. He made his tent on the bank of Jamuna. And Kubalaya Pira was Jarasandha's elephant. And Kubalaya Pira got released from the bond, from his shackles, and he went and started to destroy everything. And seeing that elephant, all the wrestlers that were there fighting with Kamsa, they were practicing. So they ran away. So the elephant came and attacked Kamsa. And Kamsa not only defeated that elephant, but picked it up and threw that elephant all the way from Mathura to Jarasandha's camp. And Jarasandha was surprised, and he got to know what actually happened. So Jarasandha became very impressed, and he wanted to see the boy, see the young man. And when Jarasandha saw Kamsa and saw his strength, he was so impressed that he decided to offer 2 of his daughters to Kamsa in marriage. So that is how Kamsa became Jarasandha's son-in-law. So this was this elephant, Kuvalayapira. And this also depicts, this also shows how powerful, how strong Kamsa was. So this Kuvalayapira was in front of the gate. The idea actually was, Kamsa's arrangement was, that when Krishna would come, this elephant will kill him. And he posted the elephant there with the elephant driver. So, as I described yesterday, so how Krishna actually killed this Kuvalayapira. Bhagavatam gives a very nice description how Krishna played with that elephant. Did I describe that yesterday? No, this morning I briefly discussed. Yeah, right. Okay, so in details maybe we can do it. So Krishna told the elephant driver, Mahut, move out, let me go in. Don't you see that? Why are you guarding the gate, blocking the gate like this? Today is a festival day, people will be coming and you are blocking the gate. So, being chastised in this way, the elephant driver became very angry. So he goaded that elephant, that means to charge. That they have a kind of a small spear-like thing. With that, they actually hit the elephant on the at the back of the ears, and that actually fires up the elephant. So the elephant attacked Krishna. Came like it's been described like the elephant, like the death personified, came to lift Krishna up with his tusk, with his trunk. That's what the elephants do. Pick you up with the trunk and smash the ground. But Krishna just, as the elephant came charging, he stepped aside and went at the back of the elephant. And the elephant couldn't see Krishna, so he started to look for Krishna, and Krishna was hiding at the back of the elephant. And then Krishna went under the elephant, and the elephant couldn't find even, like it just kept on turning around like that. Then again Krishna went back to the elephant and grabbed the elephant by its tail. And just as when he was a child he used to play with the calf, pulling the calf by the tail, he started to drag the elephant, and he dragged the elephant 25 meters. And the elephant became even more angry. Then Krishna went in front of the elephant, and when the elephant was running, and having Krishna in the front, the elephant tripped. He became even more angry. So, in this way Krishna played with the elephant, and when the elephant tried to go, thinking that Krishna was now on the floor, on the ground, he tried to gore Krishna. And Krishna just rolled away, and the elephant became hurt by so strongly goring on the ground, on the hard stone pavement. And in this way Krishna played with the elephant for some time, and then Krishna grabbed the tusk of the elephant and twisted the elephant. and the elephant just went, toppled, and the mahout fell off. So Krishna climbed onto the elephant's body and pulled the tusk out of the elephant's body. And then with the tusk he started to beat the elephant up. And prior to that he killed the elephant's driver. So then Krishna took the tusk and other tusk Balaram took, and they entered into the arena. And today we discussed in the class how Krishna entered and how everyone saw Krishna. The wrestlers saw Krishna in a certain way. Mallanam Ashuni, Nrinang Naravara. To the people of those who are there, to them, the male, Krishna appeared to be like the best of man. Strinang Smara Marjamana. So to women, Smara Murtimana. So to the women, Krishna appeared to be like Cupid, Cupid himself. Murtiman. Smara. Smara is the name of Cupid, the god of love. So in this way, Krishna appeared to different people in a different way. To the cowherd boys, he appeared to be like a friend, their dear friend. To his parents, the child, dear child. Abidusham, those who are ignorant, Bidusha. Bidusha means learned. Those who are not learned, to him, to them he appeared to be like the universal form of the Lord. And to the wicked kings, he appeared to be like the chastiser. So in this way, Krishna appeared in the arena. Then people started to glorify Krishna. Look, what a beautiful, handsome boy. They heard about Krishna. This is the first time they're seeing Krishna. In Mathura, they all heard about Krishna, but never seen him. And now that they saw, they started to glorify him, exclaim. Different people started to exclaim in various ways, started to sing the glories of Krishna. So the wrestlers became envious about that. Oh, we are the real attraction here. We are the kings, chosen wrestlers. They were already displaying their skill in front of others, showing their muscles, doing different tricks. But they saw that no one is paying attention to them. Like everyone's attention turned towards Krishna. So they became very upset. So then they started to challenge Krishna. Chanura told that a citizen's duty is to please the king. And when the king is pleased, the subject's life becomes successful. So consider it to be a great opportunity to display your wrestling skills, to entertain the king. In this way they were trying to excite Krishna and Balaram. So Krishna said, fine, but you see, this kind of competition takes place between equals. To begin with, the word is match. Match means matching. Like we have in wrestling and in boxing, we have heavyweight, lightweight, bantamweight, featherweight, different kinds of weights. So of the same weight, in the same range, they generally fight. And here you are two giants and we are two young boys. What kind of match is that? And the people also are exclaiming. The ladies got together and they started to discuss among themselves. Look what an impious act it is. It's an irreligious arrangement. Two giants are going to fight with two boys. These giants, their body seems to be made of thunder. And their body looks like a huge mountain. And these boys, their tender age, their body seems to be like so delicate and tender. So how can there be a match like that? People also started to scream that that's unfair, that's unfair. So Krishna told, see, it's not my statement, it's everybody's statement. I mean, what kind of arrangement is this? Then Chanur said, you may look like young boys, but you are not young boys. So in this way, we see in the scriptures, although they try to insult and blaspheme the Lord, they actually glorify them by their words. So, he's actually telling the truth. You may look like a young boy, but you are not a young boy. Your strength is unimaginable. How could anybody... We saw that you broke that bow. That big warriors couldn't even lift it, couldn't even budge it. And you picked it up and broke that bow. Who are you? So in this way they were speaking to Krishna. But at the same time they said that come, let us, now since you have decided to see the abode of Jamraj, we'll fulfill your desire. And this way they started talking. Krishna said, look, empty words don't signify anything. It's the action that matters. So let's stop talking and come, fight. And Krishna started to fight with Chanur and Balaram started to fight with Mushtika. And they were hitting each other, they were trying to trip each other, and someone was falling on the ground, getting up, and they were fighting with all their strength. Sometimes Chanura was hitting Krishna on his chest. And Krishna's reaction was just as an elephant got struck by a lotus flower. But when Krishna started to pound him, his whole body started to crack. His bones started to crack. And in this way, finally, Krishna picked up Chanura and made him spin him around his overhead and then smashed him on the ground. And same thing with Mushtika. He hit Balaram on the chest after a lot of fight. But Balaram's condition was also, he was not affected at all. But then he grabbed Mushtika. And he hit him so hard that he started to vomit blood. and he fell down dead. Seeing that, Chanur and Mushtik's three other brothers, Kuta, came out. Balaram dealt with Kuta and killed him, and Krishna killed two other brothers, Shal and Toshal. So when that happened, everyone started to clap and express their jubilation. Only Kamsa became upset. Everyone was so impressed seeing that wonderful display of power and wrestling ability. So they are glorifying. Even Kamsa's friends started to glorify. What a wonderful fit. Because people generally appreciate act of heroism. But Kamsa just stood up. He was on a high dais, royal dais, surrounded by his other important people and friends. So from there Kamsa stood up and he said, "Stop all that commotion. Throw away this Krishna and Balaram from the city. Arrest Vasudev. Kill him. Kill Ugrasen and all his supporters, because they are all against me. They are my enemies." So when Krishna Kamsa started to scream like that from the high dais, Krishna just jumped into the dais. And seeing that, Kamsa pulled out his sword and shield. And he started to move like a hawk in the sky. And Krishna just went straight to him. Even before he could raise his sword, Krishna just slapped him so hard. Kamsa started to reel. His turban and crown, everything went flying. Then Krishna grabbed him and threw him from the dais into the wrestling arena. Then as Kamsa fell, Krishna also jumped and fell on him. And he started to hit him. And Kamsa is dead. So everyone, even the demigods, started to dance in ecstasy, throwing flowers. And then Krishna grabbed Kamsa by his head, Kamsa's body by his hair, and he started to take his body all around the arena, showing everyone. Then Krishna went to the prison. His father and mother were imprisoned at that time. Actually, at that time, Vasudeva was arrested. I think I told you, when Keshi was killed and Kamsa was frightened seeing that sight, then Vasudeva, there was just a smile appeared in his face, a trifle smile. He didn't dare to laugh in front, seeing Krishna Kamsa's condition. There was just a sign of trifle smile on his face. And Kamsa noticed it. And he, out of anger, he wanted to kill Vasudeva. At that time, Narad Muni came and gave him the advice. Kamsa, killing Vasudeva, what will you gain? Your enemy is not Vasudeva, your actual enemy is Krishna. And if you kill Vasudeva, then Krishna will get even more upset, and who knows what he will do. So rather try to kill him. Kamsa will kill him. Since the day he was born, I have been trying to kill him. So Narad Muni said, Kamsa, you made a mistake. When the enemy is so strong, then you should attack the enemy with full strength, not with partial strength. You have been sending one after another the demons. That was a mistake. You should have gathered all your strength, and with the whole strength, you should have tried to kill Krishna. Sometimes it seems like, why Narad Muni is siding with Kamsa and all this advice? The reason actually is that Narad Muni is simply accelerating Krishna's pastimes. The demigods are asking, Narad Muni, please go and do something that Krishna would quickly kill Kamsa. So that's why Narad Muni came and gave that advice, that call Krishna to your thing and get all your friends, all your allies here. And then when he comes, then you attack him. Of course, Narad Muni knows who Krishna is, and he knows that no one can do anything to Krishna. But this is how Krishna's pastimes will be accelerated. So Krishna, Narad Muni told Kamsa that get all your allies together. Kamsa said, how can I tell the others, come help me because I am in distress. After all, I have some reputation. What will happen to my honor and glory if I show that I have become afraid and need their help to deal with these two boys? Narad Muni said, okay, then do one thing. You arrange this Dhanur Yajna. You have this special bow in your palace that your ancestors received from Parasuram. So make an announcement that anyone who can string that bow, you'll give him half the kingdom. So being allured by that announcement, the greedy kings will come. And then you announce this Dhanur Yajna. And then you invite Krishna and Balaram to come. And in that assembly, you deal with him. So, at that time, although Kamsa did not kill Vasudev, but he arrested Vasudev, put him in prison. So, Krishna released Vasudev and Devaki, and he released Ugrasen also, Kamsa's father. The question actually arises that how come Ugrasen gave birth to a son like Kamsa? So that's also, you see, this is the thing about the Vedic narrations. It all relates to each other. That shows that these are all truthful descriptions. They are not fictitious stories. They're all truthful because it's a recorded history actually. And that's why everything links with the different other anecdotes, other happenings. So Kamsa, Kamsa's father, Ugrasen's wife was Padmavati. She was extremely beautiful. So one day when she was walking around in the kind of forest garden, at that time there was a demon called Drumila became attracted by her beauty. So the demon assumed the form of Ugrasen and approached her. And due to their union, Kamsa was born. Due to that union. So, so Ugrasen was arrested by Kamsa, put him in prison, and he took over the kingdom. So at that time Ugrasen was in the prison. So Krishna released him from the prison and made him the king. that relates to another story. Why Krishna didn't become the king. Of course, out of respect, Ugrasen did tell him, you become the king. I am old, I don't really, I won't be able to, now so many enemies will be attacking, so I won't be able to deal with them. So you become the king. Krishna declined, and there is a reason behind it also. There was a very illustrious king called Yajati. Again, he was the son of Nahusha. You remember this story of Nahusha in Bhagavatam, who was cursed to become a lizard? So anyway, in Bhagavatam you'll find that story. And so Nahusha was another illustrious king, and Nahusha's son was Yajati. And the demons' king was Brishaparva, the king of Daityas. And Brishaparva, and the guru of the demons is Sukracharya. So Brishaparva had a daughter named Sharmishtha, and Sukracharya had a daughter named Devjani. So two of them were intimate friends. So one day they went to the forest and they took bath in a lake, and after they came out, by mistake, Devjani put on the sari of Sharmishtha. And when Sharmishtha came out and she found that Devjani was wearing her sari, she became very upset. Said, how dare you wear my sari? Actually, she did it by mistake. So when she came out, she just wrapped herself with the sari. And she insulted her, saying that your father is maintained by my father. And so in a way, you are actually the daughter of my maidservant of my father's my servant's daughter. So in that relationship, you are my maidservant, and being a maidservant, you dare to wear my sari. And this way, Sharmishtha and Devjani had an argument. So in that argument, Sharmishtha, out of anger, threw Devjani into a well and left. So at that time, Jajati the king happened to be hunting in the forest, and probably he heard the cry of someone, and he came to the well and rescued Devjani. So, and Devjani became first of all, she became grateful to him that he rescued her, and she also felt attracted to Jajati. So he said, she proposed, please marry me. So in the Vedic culture also, when a man takes a woman by hand, it is considered to be accepting her as the wife. And that is how pure the Vedic culture is. So she reasoned that you have, while rescuing me, you have pulled me by my hand, therefore you have accepted me as your wife. The same thing happened also with Bhishma. When Bhishma went to claim these three daughters of Kashiraj, Amba, Ambika and Ambalika, Amba, he actually got these three daughters to be married to his brother, Vichitravirja. But Amba, the eldest daughter, already gave herself, in heart, she gave herself to Shalva. And So when she told that, then Bhishma said, okay, then you can go. Then Shalva refused to accept. He said, do you think I'm a beggar? I'm going to accept someone's remnants? Because he was already defeated by Bhishma. He tried to fight and claim Amba, but when he was defeated, and then when she came, and he was kind of very arrogantly said that, do you think that I am a beggar? I'm going to take somebody else's remnants? Oh, come, you can go to him. So it was this way she was refused by Shalva. And then she came back to Bhishma and said, he refused. So you marry me. So Bhishma said, look, I've taken a vow of lifelong celibacy. So I can't break my promise. Then she said, but because when you picked me up on the chariot, you took me by my hand. So by taking me by my hand, you have actually accepted me as your wife. So this is how she claimed, but Bhishma said, nothing doing, I'm not going to. So then she went back to her grandfather, who was in the forest, and took shelter of him and told him her sad story. The father said, okay, Bhishma's guru is Parashuram. So he's my friend, so I will tell him, and maybe he will be able to do something about it. So he told that to he approached Parashuram and told him. Parashuram said, sure, I will, no problem, I'll tell him. So he went and told Bhishma, Bhishma, accept this girl as your wife. Bhishma said, you know that I have taken a vow of lifelong celibacy. Parashuram said, fine, but I'm your guru, so I'm instructing you, so you can break your vow upon my order, being instructed by me. But Bhishma's reaction was, when the guru gives inappropriate advice, that guru should be rejected. Gururapyavaliptasya karya karya ajanatah utpatha pratipannasya parityaga vidhiyate. Parityaga vidhiyate. How dare you speak to me like this? Come fight with me. So Parshuram and Bhishma started to fight. Parshuram couldn't defeat Bhishma, Bhishma couldn't defeat Parshuram. It went on for a long time. Then finally Parshuram gave up. Gave up in the sense, he said, Bhishma, I'm very pleased with your valor, with your heroism. Ask for any boon. Krishna said, if you want to give any boon, then stop fighting. So that then Parshuram went back and said, see, I could not convince him. Sorry. So then Amba lit a fire and gave up her body with a desire to kill Bhishma. So anyway, so this is how it was. Devjani claimed that since you took me by my hand, you have accepted me as your wife. Now there was another problem. You see, a man from a higher caste can get married to a girl from a lower caste, either from the equal or from a lower caste. But a man from a lower caste cannot get married to a woman from the higher caste. Because the woman from the higher caste is considered to be like a mother, superior. So that is why this marriage was not appropriate. But when Devjani told her father, the father gave the permission, okay, you can get married to her. In the meantime, another thing happened, that Devjani became so upset and told her father, so Shukracharya decided to leave the palace of Vrishaparva. And being devoid of Guru's advice, Guru's counseling, Vrishaparva was in great turmoil. So he went back to Guru, begged forgiveness, please forgive me. And so he said that your daughter has insulted my daughter. So I can't tolerate that my daughter has been treated in that way. So if she agrees for a truce, then it will be all right. Then when King Vrishaparva approached Devjani and asked, what can I do to pacify you? So Devjani said that you let your daughter become my maidservant. She was so arrogant, she was telling that I am her maidservant, but let her see who is the mistress and who is the servant. So, and Vrishaparva agreed to that proposal, and Sharmishtha accepted it. I mean, this shows the Vedic culture. Even the demons follow such strict moral code. The father said, the daughter accepted. She is a princess. She accepted to become the maidservant of Devjani. So when Devjani got married to Jajati, Sharmishtha also came with her. And Shukracharya made a point that he knew that Sharmishtha is so beautiful that he may become attracted to her. Jajati may become attracted to her. So he made a condition that never have any physical relationship with her. And so he accepted. And anyway, so one day when Sharmishtha and Jajati were in a solitary situation, Sharmishtha approached Jajati for having a child from him. So he said that, look, I made a condition with Shukracharya. Anyway, so they had a long argument. And then finally Jajati had to agree. And as a result of that, Sharmishtha got 3 sons. So when Sharmishtha was pregnant, that one, Devjani asked, what happened? How did you become pregnant? So she said that one saintly person, one sage came and had union with her. But then she found out that actually they were Jajati's children. So she, being upset, went back to her, left Jajati and went back to her father. So Jajati went to beg forgiveness and bring her back. And Shukracharya was so upset that Shukracharya cursed him, that you become infirm, you become old. Lose your vitality, lose your youth, become old. And immediately Jajati turned into an old man. So he fell at his feet and said, please forgive me, like my desires are not fulfilled and my youthful desires are not fulfilled. So Shukracharya said, if any of your sons take your jara, take your old age, then you can get your youth back. So Jajati went Devjani had two sons, Jadu and Turbashu, and Sharmishta had three sons, Druhu, Anu and Puru. So he total had 5 sons. So he went and asked first son, Jadu, please take my youth, take my old age and give me youth. He refused. He said, I'm a young man. My life didn't even begin. And at a time like this, you are asking me to give my youth to you. So when he refused to give his youth in this way, Jajati cursed him. As an eldest son, he was the rightful heir to the throne. And he cursed him that you and descendants will never have any kingdom. So Krishna actually appeared in the Yadu dynasty. Therefore, Krishna couldn't become a king. I mean, that was the family thing. Yadus couldn't become the king. See, these narrations are so, this recording of history is so interesting that one incident leads to another incident. And that's a proof. Like I often ask people that how can anybody say that this is mythology? In India, they call it, all these Vedic literatures, Mahabharata, Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, Puran, they are all mythology. They don't consider that mythology means coming from myth, coming from unreal narration, unreal source. Now, if it came from unreal source, how can it be so distinctly defined in their lineage? Like, okay, like you have so many, you know of so many stories, right? Like, say, Superman. Now, do you know the father's name of Superman? Even if you know, what about his grandfather's name? What about his great-grandfather's name? But if it comes to Krishna, it goes all the way back to Jadu. Not only Jadu, Jadu to Jajati, Jajati to Nahush. In this way, it goes all the way to Pururava, and then to Somdev, moon god. The distinct line is there. So anyway, so Krishna made Ugrasen the king. I don't know how much I'll be able to cover in 3-4 sessions. Anyway, I'll try. So he made Ugrasen the king, and then Vasudeva and Ugrasen considered that this boy, although he's from a Kshatriya family, he hasn't been properly initiated. Because the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas in course of time become initiated. So they got Krishna initiated by Gargamuni. Received Gayatri Mantra, second initiation. For his case it was first initiation because he didn't get Harinam. So after initiation, Krishna considered that I have to study. So who to study from? Sandipani Muni. Sandipani Muni was from Kashi, from Benares. He was actually a devotee of Lord Shiva. So the question arises, why did Krishna went for education to the ashram of a devotee of Lord Shiva? Should have been a Vaishnav teacher. The answer to that is, no Vaishnav teacher would have agreed to teach Krishna. Because Shiva's followers would not properly recognize him or consider him to be the supreme. In that sense, he decided to take initiation. To study under Sandipani Muni. So Krishna went to Sandipani Muni's ashram. Where is Sandipani Muni's ashram? What was the name at that time? Avanti. How many of you visited Avanti? Very good. So in Ujjain, now this Avanti city is known as Ujjain. So Krishna and Balaram went to study in Sandipani Muni's ashram. They stayed in Sandipani Muni's ashram for 64 days and mastered 64 arts. One day, one art he mastered. So that is Krishna and Balaram. Of course, do they need anything to master? Do they need a guru to learn things from? That point again comes out. Advaita Acharya's son is Achyuta Nanda. So once when Advaita Acharya told that Ishwar Puri was the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Achyutananda, just a little boy, became upset. That how can you say that the Supreme Personality of Godhead has a spiritual master? So the thing is that Ishwar Puri is not the spiritual master of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very mercifully accepted Ishwar Puri as his spiritual mentor to teach everyone. So that showed that Achyutananda was such a great devotee from his childhood. So anyway, Krishna and Balaram went to study in Sandipani Muni's ashram. So after the study was complete, it is a custom, Vedic culture is, that when you learn something from your teacher, then you have to give him dakshina. That is what makes it complete. That's why at the time of initiation, you give Guru dakshina. Go out collecting funds to give dakshina. So, the same thing, Krishna and Balaram decided, after completing their studies, went to Guru and said that we want to give you dakshina, what can I give you as dakshina? So Sandipani Muni said that, look, I have everything. By getting you as my student, I achieved everything. I have nothing more to ask from you. But if you want to really let me see if my wife wants something. So he went and asked his wife. So she said that, look, these two boys are not ordinary human beings. They're extraordinary. And ever since he came here to study, I forgot the pain of losing my son. And now that they're going, I'm going to be submerged again in a agony of my losing my son. So you please ask them something unusual, extraordinary. So ask them to bring the lost son back. So he went and told that to Krishna and Balaram. This is what my wife wanted. So he called him. Krishna and Balaram then said, okay, we'll do that. So Krishna and Balaram went to Prabhash, where the sun drowned in the ocean. And he called the ocean god. And the ocean god then came, and Krishna said, my Guru's son has drowned here, so please bring him back. Ocean said, I did not abduct him. It is a demon called Panchajan who actually abducted him. So Krishna then immediately went into the depth of the ocean, and he found that demon in the guise of a conch shell. So Krishna killed that demon, but in his belly couldn't find the sun. So then Krishna went to Jamaraj, Sangjamani Puri, Jamaraj's abode, and he blew his conch shell. Jamaraj immediately came out, offered obeisances, and Krishna told him that his Guru's son was there, so he wanted him back. So then Jamaraj brought the son back. And Krishna took the son and gave it to returned the son to his Guru and his wife. So this is how Krishna and Balaram paid an unusual Guru Dakshina. So I'll stop here and ask questions, if you all have any questions.